The Chicago Bears are back in training camp. Everybody's reported. We had Caleb Williams talk. We had Ryan Poles talk. And we got audio from Ben Johnson. What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan Levy. This is Bears Latest. Fan Art Sports reminding you once again that the Green Bay Packers suck. Giant show for you right here. We got it up and down. The Bears players have reported to Hallis Hall. Caleb Williams looking pretty good as he makes his way into year two. Ben Johnson holds court. And the Bears did make some roster moves today, so Ryan Poles is putting in his job. Once again, I'm Dan Levy. Thanks for joining the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Share with your friends. This is the place where we talk Chicago Bears. We get your reactions. We react to everything that's going on, all the latest moves, roster moves, anything that involves the Chicago Bears. We are chatting about it here. And again, the comment section has been lighting up the last few days for the last few episodes. You guys are in for a treat this season. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. I'm hoping so. But again, as we make our way into Hallis Hall for yet another training camp full of expectations, we are in for a treat, and I hope it's going to be either it's going to be the best season we've ever seen or another colossal disaster. Nothing could be as bad as it was last season. Famous last words, by the way, but we'll see what happens. This is a division that I think the Bears could possibly do well in. The NFC North is not as strong as it was in the last couple of seasons. The Detroit Lions, all offensive coordinators are gone. A lot of pieces injured. A lot of pieces are gone from the Lions. So we're not really sure exactly what that team is going to be and if Jared Goff is just going to go back to a functional quarterback rather than the Super Bowl quarterback that we were seeing. Jordan Love, I'm not really seeing much out of that guy. They gave him a lot of money, and I'm not sure he's going to be as good as Caleb Williams. I'm not sure the Packers are even that strong. The only team that's kind of scary, and it is scary, is the Minnesota Vikings. Again, we were talking about the last episode. The Bears almost took J.J. McCarthy and almost became a Caleb Williams show over there. That didn't happen, but what the Vikings did last season with Sam Darnold and what they were able to accomplish the last season with a quarterback that nobody really thought had anything left in him, imagine what JJ is going to be like if he's anything like he was in college coming out. So we'll get to that as well. But let's get to what we all came to listen to. Caleb Williams spoke today to the media, and he's got some thoughts on what his lessons were from last season.
I've had some up and downs in games myself and team-wise, and so I think all of last year was great for us and great for me to be able to manage these next 6 weeks, so about 6 weeks. I think it's going to be fun too. That's the fun part about it, is having these up and downs and figuring out a way to manage those and deal with them and, come back the next day or next play or, next drive, next situation that we have and, go out there and execute and, be that guy that and teammate that, they depend on and believe in for those moments.
Well, I would say this. Caleb, last season was a lot of suck. That was bad. I don't know what the up moments were. Maybe the fact that you got the 3,000 yards, but that is a minimum bar that the Bears set you. We did not give you a good season last season. We started off happy. We started off positive, but we have an offensive coordinator that got fired and a head coach that got fired for the first time in this 100-year franchise. They fired a head coach during the season because it was that bad. So now we did something. We brought you in a new coach, Ben Johnson, and he's known to really coach people up. He's known to get in their face. Here's Caleb's thoughts on playing for a coach who's going to be all up in his grill instead of last season when he said he had nobody in the coaching room breaking down film.
No, I've been used to tough coaching throughout my years. I've had different type of personalities throughout my years of coaching, but I would say majority of my career of playing football has been tough coaching, and it's greatly appreciated because that's what you need to be able to, at this level especially, to be able to go out there and execute and play at your best is somebody up on you, coaching you hard and pushing you, and that could be teammates and that could be coaches.
Sure.
And, we're working on the leading by example. We're working on the teammates aspect of it because that's how you go win. That's elite teams is when the players are leading. But in the beginning, coach has set the example of how he wants things run in the standard, and then from there we take it and we lead.
Here's the thing. No kidding, Caleb. No kidding. You've been around coaches that are tough on you and teammates that are tough on you. It's football. If you were to tell me what, the standard for a head coach of a football team, they're not going to be like Phil Jackson, the Zen master, and they're not going to be like John Madden or Joe Madden of the Cubs. Everything's cool. I'm going to ride in a bus. It's all kind of hippy-dippy. No, football, they are all up in your grill. It is physical. It is pounded. It is shove it down your throat. It is all in. But last season, you said you weren't getting coached hard enough. Here's the deal. Everybody says they want to get coached hard. Everybody says, I want this coach to really get in my grill and do it. But in Chicago, it's different. This isn't a small market town. They don't treat it like a small market town. This is a town that if you don't perform, this media will get you out. This media is so harsh, they had to turn the TVs off for Mitchell Trubisky because his ego could not handle negatives. What do you think, Caleb, it's going to be like this season if for some reason you do not perform? Okay, the media is going to ride the living heck out of you. And with that said, the last thing you're going to want is a head coach nose to nose screaming at you saying you're doing something wrong because plays didn't develop and things broke down and you did not react well. So before you start saying, I love a good coach, I like it hard, this is what I'm used to, you're not used to this. You're not used to NFL play. You're not used to what happens when a professional team breaks down. And all the expectations are now on you, dude. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This season is you. Last season was the Bears' fault. Not a great offensive line. Horrible offensive line. Not a good coach. Not a good offensive coordinator. Not a good situation for what is supposed to be a franchise quarterback coming in. Now, new head coach. New offense, new system, brand new offensive line. We have a left tackle battle going on just for people to protect you. You had 68 sacks last season. Just getting half of those. If you make it out with 34, or make it that, you had 34 or 44 sacks, if you can do half of that, then my friend, you will be raising the bar. So, again, this is all about what it is that you can do. But Caleb did say that he's pretty excited about what's going on.
What are you most pumped up about this camp for?
Really just to get out there
Mark
with the guys.
Grody, my guy.
Pads come on. It's been a while. So pads come on and you get to get out there and enjoy, have fun. And then other than that, I mean, it's going to be the hotel lobbies and playing cards and Uno and all these different things that, in the moment when you're in this for 6 weeks, it's long days, challenging days. But when you look back on it, those are the moments that that really mean the most to you, your teammates, and something that, at the end of the season that you kind of reminisce on.
All right, so I love the fact that he's talking about being a good teammate, being somebody that's around the team in the locker room and being that guy. That is all positive stuff. I want to hear nothing but stuff like that. But also understand that while you're on this team flight, while you're in this hotel, Ben Johnson spoke today, and he said that he gave Caleb Williams some homework before camp as he enters his year 2 and tries to up his game. Between minicamp and training camp, Johnson gave Williams clear areas to work on, sharpen his footwork, clean up short throws, and spend at least 30 to 60 minutes a day studying the playbook. And according to Williams, he has stuck to it daily. There's 24 hours in a day. If you can't give 30 minutes to playbook, you probably shouldn't be in that position, which you're right. But Ben Johnson also gave you this one. He said the improvements that he wants is that you need to focus on completing 70% of your passes, throwing for 4,000 yards, which no Chicago Bear quarterback has ever done. And most importantly, you need to lead this Bears team to a win. So Ben's going to be on you. You know what you got to work on. And here's my final thoughts about what's going on with Caleb Williams. Yes, you can do all these studying things. Here's the thing. Caleb Williams, you have the potential. You have generational talent inside of you. Whether or not it's realized or not, it'll only matter if you can improve on the improvables. If you're the kind of player that can take all the things that happened bad last season, those are the things that you can learn to do. You can learn how to make better decisions in the pocket. You can learn to adjust on the fly, and you can learn to get better footwork and do all those kinds of things. The things that you can improve on are the things that are generational, that are just to you, your athleticism, your ability to read plays, your ability to be creative in the pocket. All those kinds of things, all the rest of that stuff, you can be taught. Those are the intangibles that you have that most quarterbacks don't have. The ones that do, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. All three quarterbacks had to learn what to do with all the talent that they had, and they've all improved on there. That's why we're saying those three quarterbacks are the top three in the league. That's why Josh Allen should go to a Super Bowl hopefully the next couple of years, and that's why Lamar Jackson will probably also visit a Super Bowl as well. But Caleb Williams, year 2, as far as that goes, that's the stuff that you need to work on as well. Now, with this being training camp, Caleb was not the only one who had some talking to do today. We have Ben Johnson got up there and discussed what is the potential identity of this team.
We know what we want to be about. Offensively, we talk about being explosive, being detailed. On defense, we do want to press on the outside. We want to challenge. We want to stop the run with shell. There's a number of things that we talk about on offense and on defense. And as a team, we want to be physical. We want to be poised. All right. There are things that we want, but it all comes together over the course of camp. And so that's why this time is so important, because those guys are really the ones driving that ship.
Yes. That is exactly what you want to do. You want to be physical. You want to be on top of everything. On offense, you want to push that offense and do what you got to do. But even he said he's not even sure what the identity of this team is. He then led it by saying, I'm not sure what this identity is. We're going to figure it out brick by brick. And that's what he's kind of talking about. What is this team as you build it?
There's a lot of excitement around the program, and I think rightfully so. There's a lot of talent on the roster. Looking forward to see what leaders come out of the locker room and really lead the charge here for us going into the fall. The focus for us is going to be on continuous improvement. All right, really for the next 6 weeks, that's all we care about, is getting a little bit better every single day by day, brick by brick, and that starts today.
Yes, it starts today. Brick by brick, we will figure out what this team is, which means he has no idea yet what this is. We don't know what this team is going to be yet, because we just don't. We don't know what the identity is. We don't know what everyone's going to bring, and we don't know who's even available. And one of that is Braxton Jones, who is injured and is probably going to be out for a little while. There is now going to possibly be a battle between that. And usually you would hear a head coach saying that when Braxton Jones does come back, he'll have a leg up and he'll have the advantage of having that spot as his. But according to Ben Johnson, it's up for grabs.
Yeah, I would like to think his experience will help him. But we're coming in with blank slates right now. And so they're just because a guy's played and another guy hasn't in this league.
True.
We're going to let the competition play out, and we'll see where it goes.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of different media's reactions to that. I've been hearing a lot of different people upset about that, and he should be saying that Braxton Jones will have it, or at least have an advantage of it. Again, there is nothing wrong with competition in this place. In a year in which we are discussing offensive line battles where people are jobbing for position, this is great. I'm okay with it. I know some people want to know that, hey, it's going to be Braxton's, let him have it. He's got experience, but that wasn't good experience that he had as a Bears offensive lineman. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's probably better than the guys that are coming up in the rookie side. But you better get back in this game, buddy. Braxton, you better get ready to play. And when you're finally healthy and you're good to go, just know that your spot is not guaranteed, and you better come and bring it. Because, again, when we start doing this next man up and this guy's injured, I want to see that left tackle field buzzing. I want to see the next man up being like, ooh, now we got this guy. So I'm okay with him saying there's a lot of different battles when it comes to that, and I'm okay with that being the way it goes. Now, another thing I want to kind of focus on is that there were some moves made today ahead of the training camp. Right now, there are a lot of different things that are going on, but one of the main things we talked about was Ryan Poles got extended. What is he going to do? There are some holes in this defense, and looks like Ryan Poles did some work. News of 2 additions to the roster. The team has signed veteran defensive back Trey Flowers, and they've also brought in Tano Passanon, who joins the D-line. He's a former second-round pick of the Chiefs, has appeared in over 100 NFL games, brings 16 and a half career sacks with him. He played under Dennis Allen with the Saints the past 4 seasons and won a Super Bowl in 2019 with Kansas City. His familiarity with the complex defense schemes should make him a valuable piece in that rotation. Finally, addressing the defense, addressing what needs to be done. Go get guys that know what they're doing. Go get guys that understand exactly what's happening in this next phase. You already hooked up Ben Johnson. You already gave love to all the offensive linemen. You gave love to guys that know his system. Let Dennis Allen cook. we want to see what this defense is. I already know what I kind of want to see out of the offense. There are little things that I want to see what happens in the offense. I want to see that Caleb Williams understands what's going on. I want to see that his reads are tighter, and I want to see that he has a firm grasp on the new system. I want to see if DeAndre Swift is going to be the running back that he was of old and not the one we saw last season. And again, last year, I don't even count. That season sucked. But I want to see that he still has some life left in him. Now I want to see what this defense is. That is where the majority of the holes are. We need defensive ends. We need pass rushers. We need a lot of things to cook up and not just rely on Montez Sweat. And hopefully if Jaquan Brisker is healthy, I'd like to see what he does too. But there are a lot of things that need to be addressed. So good job, Ryan Poles, on snagging some 2 new guys and some moves that needed to be made. But will that be enough? Is that enough? And during this training camp, yeah, I'd like to see 1 or 2 more major power moves if you can. If you can make it out of training camp and the practice the practice games and then make it in towards the preseason and get some things going on, I would love to see 1 or 2 more giant pieces added to that defense. We'll figure out the running back situation. We'll figure out what happens with Colston Loveland if he's ready to go. And also Jalen Johnson, if he's okay. That injury came along. Sounds like he's going to be out for the next few weeks. Hopefully that is just being cautious, but let's see what you can do with this defense. Let's see what can happen with this Bears team. I'm still on board with this team. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I hope you are too. I'm cautious. I'm taking little baby sips of it, but for the most part, I'm drinking this one. I hope you are too. It's Bears Latest. I'm Dan Levy. Thanks again for joining me on this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Share with your friends. Let's keep this dialogue going on. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you're excited about. Let me know what your concerns are, especially after all that audio we heard. And I'm sure you're consuming all the Bears media in pretty much every 6 ways you can. All the different YouTube channels I'm sure you're listening and watching, and all the articles you're reading. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. We'll mention it. We'll do it right here. Once again, I'm Dan Levy. Follow me, Base on Air, BASS on Air. This is Bears Latest, Fan Art Sports. Green Bay Packers suck. Bear down. See you tomorrow.